Здравствуйте! In this video, we will talk about Russian verbs that show position, or глаголы положения. Let's take a look at these sentences describing objects in a room. В комнате стоит стол. На стене висит картина. На полу лежит ковер. Now you probably already know that Russian is often more specific than English. And in this case, whereas in English you simply say something is somewhere, in Russian we distinguish between objects that are in a standing or vertical position, in a lying or horizontal position, and objects that are hanging either on the wall or on a ceiling or on a hanger. So to decide which verb to use, keep these rules in mind. We use стоять, which means to stand, with any object that has some sort of base or legs, for example, or anything that's in a vertical position. We use висеть, which means to hang, for anything affixed to the wall or ceiling or anything suspended, and of course for anything hanging from a hook or a hanger. And finally, we use лежать for objects that are in a lying or horizontal position. Now, in some cases, the same object can take different positions. As you can see in these pictures, in the first picture, the books are lying flat on the table. So we would say эти книги лежат. In the second picture, the books are standing on the shelf. So we would say книги стоят на полке. Let's look at another example. In the first picture, the lamp is affixed to the wall, so we would say эта лампа висит. In the second picture, the lamp is standing on a base on the table, so we would say эта лампа стоит. And let's look at different kinds of mirrors. In the first picture, зеркало висит. In the bottom picture, зеркало стоит. In the next picture, зеркало лежит. And in the final picture, зеркало стоит. Now let's take a look at this room and see which objects are standing, which objects are hanging, and which objects are lying. Let's start with the table. The table has legs, so we would say стол стоит. And the armchair тоже стоит. How about the sofa? Диван стоит. And the lamp? This particular lamp тоже стоит. And how about the vase on the table? Ваза стоит. Let's look at these books on the table and decide whether they're standing or lying. Эти книги лежат. And the carpet? Ковер лежит. And the pillow on the sofa? Подушка лежит. Now let's look at the wall. We see the paintings there. Картины висят. And finally, the curtains in the room. Шторы висят. Now that you know how to use the verbs of position, let's take a quick look at the forms. The verb стоять conjugates as follows. Я стою, ты стоишь, они стоят. The past is regular, стоял, стояла. And the imperative is стой, стойте. Висеть, to hang. Я вишу, ты висишь, они висят. Note that we have a consonant mutation. The past is regular, висел, висела. And the imperative form is виси, висите. And finally, the verb лежать, to be in a horizontal position. Я лежу, ты лежишь, они лежат. And the past is regular, лежал, лежала. And the imperative is лежи, лежите. Now the distinction doesn't stop here. If you need to put something somewhere, you have to decide which position you're putting it in. And so we will have 3 pairs of verbs for putting something. Ставить, поставить, which means to put something in a standing position. Мы поставили стол и стулья в столовой. Вешать, повесить, which means to hang something. Я повесила портрет в гостиной. And finally, класть, положить. Note how different the imperfective and perfective forms are, which means to put something in a lying position or a horizontal position. Мы положили ковер на пол в спальне. Now let's look at the forms of these verbs. Ставить, поставить. Я ставлю, ты ставишь, они ставят. The past is regular, ставил, ставила, and the imperative form is ставь, ставьте. Поставить conjugates the same way. Я поставлю, ты поставишь, они поставят. Поставил, поставила, and the imperative is поставь, поставьте. Вешать, повесить. Я вешаю, ты вешаешь, они вешают. So it conjugates just like работать. The past is also regular, вешал, вешала. And the imperative form is вешай, вешайте. Повесить is a second conjugation verb. Я повешу, ты повесишь, они повесят. The past is regular, повесил, повесила. And the imperative form is повесь, повесьте. And finally, класть, положить. Я кладу, ты кладешь, они кладут. The past is slightly irregular. Он клал, она клала. So we are replacing the last 3 letters with the past tense ending. And the imperative is клади, кладите. Положить. Я положу, ты положишь, они положат. The past forms are regular, положил, положила, and the imperative is положи, положите. And finally, let's look at some more examples with the verbs we just learned. Книги лежат на столе. Кто положил книги на стол? Note that we're using preposition на here to answer the question где. Therefore, we're using the prepositional case. In the second example, we're answering the question куда, and the destination is expressed with the accusative case. Стул стоит в прихожей. Кто поставил стул в прихожую? Куртка висит в шкафу. Note the special prepositional form for шкаф. Кто повесил куртку в шкаф? Тетради лежат в рюкзаке. Куда ты кладешь тетради? Молоко стоит в холодильнике. Куда ты ставишь молоко?